Hey guys, welcome back to Pointless Perspectives. This week we're gonna look at another Disney Channel original Halloween movie, but it's an old one. Twitches.
Yes, very kind of throwback movie. Last week we did one of the more modern Disney Halloween themed movies, and this week we're throwing it back. Just
This is
something
what we're
that,
comparing zombies to.
yes,
It's one
that
of these
set the precedent.
originals.
hmm and I can confidently say that I enjoy Twitches a bit more than zombies, just a little bit. Okay, so getting into just a brief summary before we um, kind of talk about it in more detail. So basically, there's this magical dimension called Coventry, and this really powerful witch named Miranda. Miranda gives birth to two identical twin daughters on Halloween night. So, of
Spooky.
course, spooky. Yes,
Spooky.
exactly. They're named after the gods Apollo and Artemis. So, Apollo and Artemis. But basically, and so they'll get to it later, but they have like amulets that in the shape of the sun and the moon. So, like, Artemis has the moon one, and Apollo has the sun shaped one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there is this evil entity, just an entity, not a person, known as Darkness. And basically, the twins are under threat, like from birth, of this darkness. So their father gives all of his magical powers to protect them from the evil guy. Then the twins are separated and given to like a magical couple and like good friends of the family. Um, and they flee to Earth. And then Apollo, which is the sun amulet girl, is adopted by a wealthy couple and named Cameron. And then Artemis, the moon um, amulet person, is adopted by a single mother and is named Alex. Um, Basically, they grow up according to their nature. So, Alex, moon amulet, night owl. Cameron is a morning person, which I don't understand. Anyways, but yeah, on their 21st birthday, Cameron and Alex, the twins, finally meet and a chance encounter. And they're like, oh my god, you look like me, all that stuff.
Uh,
And basically kind of like immediately like they grasp each other's hands and like, oh my god, like out of excitement, and they cause a burst of energy which is later revealed to be magical. um, Basically, the family friends, like the couple that was a family friend that took them away from the magical dimension of Coventry, kind of sneaks back in and is like, hey, you're witches, like, you know how in Harry Potter it's like, you're a wizard, Harry. Same type deal. um, and then I'm doing a really great job of summarizing this. And then basically, yeah, so they come to know a old prophecy that says that the sisters are the only ones capable of banishing the darkness entity and restoring Coventry to its former glory. Um, and so they kind of like start practicing their magic-y stuff. Meanwhile, on the other side, back in Coventry, Miranda, the powerful witch, is like, oh my god, my daughters are alive. And tells the uncle, which was the brother of the father that was the birth father.
the
uh,
twins' uncle.
yes, the twins' uncle. Appreciate that. And okay, so little T here. Miranda, the mother, married the uncle, Thantos, after the death of the husband or Thantos' brother. That is sketchy. I don't know what is. Uh, okay, basically, darkness comes to Alex's apartment, and the sisters transport themselves to Coventry. The whole thing makes Cameron like really, really antsy because she's like, she has the perfect life with the wealthy parents and she has no need for anything. And so then she's like, no, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Leaves. Alex tries to go it alone. And then because Cameron has one of these magical powers. She realizes that darkness is going to come for Alex and Alex won't be able to do it. So she goes back and they combine their magic and they, save the day. That's about it.
Yeah, you just gave like the entire plot of the movie. You didn't even summarize it. You just gave the whole plot.
Well, unless you have Disney Plus, you can't watch it. So
I mean, I feel like
I don't know. Is there bootleg versions?
I'm I'm sure for sure, and I'm sure it still plays like live on Disney Channel, like during
I don't.
Halloween.
I don't think so. Honestly, I think it's too late. Like too
Oh, so you
far
think they're
back.
playing like the movies like Zombies and
Oh yeah, zombies, and then like I think they're stuck to like the newer
oh, hmm.
ones because like they came out with a bunch. Like My Babysitter's a Vampire and all
I mean,
these.
I don't know, because like Twitches came out in 2005, which kind of mind boggles me because I don't think I watched it when I was 5. Like, I think I watched the reruns of it when I was older.
Mm, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know because honestly, I never really watched Twitches. I watched, Halloween Town.
I mean, I watched that too, but that was also like a big rerun
Mm,
because
yeah.
I just saw on Twitter the other day that it's been 22 years since that movie came out. So,
Are you
like,
serious?
y- yes, so it's older than us.
Bloody hell!
So, like,
I didn't know
when we
that.
watched it, they were like, those were like
The
long,
reruns.
yeah, like 10 years later reruns.
Yeah, because I don't know. I honestly don't know if they still run it. I don't think so because they have like Invisible Sister, which was with Rowan Blanchard, Girl versus Monster with Olivia Holt, a bunch of other like newer ones, which is
But I
why I'm
feel like
like,
Halloween Town is such a classic Halloween movie because it literally is meant for the Halloween season that they might play it.
yeah. I don't know about Twitches though.
I
Not
mean that
sure.
when I used to watch it, it was because it was during Halloween season. Otherwise, it wasn't on Disney Channel.
Let's see. Halloween movies on Disney Channel. I feel like they won't. They'll do like Descendants too.
Is that Halloween though? That can be
I don't
played at any
know. I
time.
feel like I don't know.
But a little bit into like the movie of it, like
Yeah.
going back to it now, like because I haven't watched it in like a while, but like going back
mm,
through like the plot and like looking at the movie, like it's especially like when you mention like that their mom, like their actual birth mother, married their birth father's like brother, like their
hmm
uncle, that immediately because of like basically what entails in the beginning of the movie is that they like in order to protect like the babies they basically show like the dad sacrificing himself in some way. They don't show him dying per se, but like that he protects the kids and then he just is gone, right? And then suddenly the uncle is now like the king of this
Yeah,
kingdom
that's
and like
some.
married to the
Yeah.
mom. And so like that immediately like struck like as of being this age struck me as like it's very Hamlet.
Yeah.
That's like basically Hamlet's plot, and like a lot of Disney movies take like Shakespearean concepts, I believe, from what I
Oh
remember
yeah.
reading a long time ago. Because Lion King is a also
Yes.
an adaptation of Hamlet. Like that's like a straight up like meant to be like Hamlet kind of thing. Uh, and this Twilight Twitches has a very Hamlet focused plot because it's the same thing where the kids are casted away and then they have to like come back and fight the uncle.
I know. That to me. Okay, because like I didn't realize that Lion King was like Hamilton based until like a couple of years.
Did you say Hamlet or Hamilton? It sounded like you said Hamilton.
Hamlet, not Hamilton, although we love Hamilton. I didn't realize that Lion King was Hamlet based until like a couple years at least afterwards, until like someone told me because I was like, oh,
I mean,
that
I
makes
obviously didn't
sense.
know growing up. Like, I had to read, or while reading Hamlet was when, like, anytime you'd search about it, like,
Yeah.
they'd be like modern adaptations of Hamlet, and Lion King was the first one, and I was like, huh. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's similar to like, how there's so many iterations of like another Cinderella story or like Cinderella.
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that off of like the classic, and then from there, like the live
Yeah.
action remakes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that because like I feel like Hamilton's plot is not Hamilton. What is wrong with me? Not Hamilton. Hamlet. I feel like Hamlet's plot is done like it's redone numerous times, kind of like Cinderella is done in so many different like situations and stuff like that.
Maybe it's just because like we most people read it in high school.
Mm.
I think it's just like the most recognized like Shakespeare play that's like adapted in movies
Romeo
because
and Juliet.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet are like the ones known, but like I'm sure, not I'm sure, but I think like in general, like I don't. Okay, it's probably because like Shakespeare concepts or like Shakespeare plays aren't copyrighted, kind of like Sherlock Holmes isn't.
Mm.
So like you can anybody can make an adaptation
Oh,
or like use the name without having to pay rights to do so. So like you can use Shakespeare's concepts. I could be wrong about Shakespeare thing, but I know like for like Sherlock Holmes, that's why there's so many things that come out.
I
Um,
love Sherlock Holmes, man.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle didn't like um didn't copyright his novel, so like he made it kind of like public access for people to continue off of or like make movies off of.
See, that's cool.
I don't think
I
he
like
knew
that.
that it was gonna be meant for movies, but like it just ended up that there was like his family didn't copyright it afterwards, like his lineage. So like people just like are able to use it for whenever they want to.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, not definitely not a thing that we see a lot nowadays with like original plots that people come up with, but it's cool that like, you know, they're doing something.
Yeah. So Hamlet is
I
just like recognizable because it's
yeah.
just easy to show. I mean, the concept of betrayal is very heart wrenching.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting that okay, cuz it's like it's Hamlet, but it also gives me very distinct like Harry Potter vibes or
But
well,
like you can't even say that because like Harry Potter was books, but like the movies didn't come out. Wait, I don't even know when the first movie came out.
well, no, I think maybe I think it was it 20 no, it wasn't 2011 that
No,
the
no, that's
first
when
Harry
it
Potter.
ended.
I think the first one came out like early like 2001 was the first.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. My timeline with Harry Potter is like super off because obviously we didn't watch it when it first came out. So like we watched
Hee hee.
it later. So it my timeline like obviously like 7-year-old me that watched the one movie of Harry Potter was like, oh, this is when it first came out, but that's not true.
Yeah. Also, why I might be in that mindset is because I recently did like a whole Harry Potter movie marathon, so Harry Potter's been on my mind. But yeah, that's just kind of like I see a similarity there, and that like they were taken away from like their parents and were like grew up normal until like a certain date, and then discovered their power or whatever. Which I think is like it's common, but I think Harry Potter was one of the big series that popularized that whole thing.
Yeah, I definitely got like witches and like learning wizardry or yeah, learning magic in general as as a thing that took off, right? Like that's when like supernatural concepts became bigger.
Yeah,
Was
I
through
do.
Harry Potter and like Twilight followed after, and then Twilight
Twilight.
made vampires a trend for, and then
They were so shiny. They glittered in the sun.
yeah, you know, to make them attractive, they didn't burn. No, no, no. They sparkled.
They sparkled. Robert Pattinson sparkled. Oh my
Okay,
god.
it's like kind of weird. Like it's so like sidebar because you just mentioned like Twilight, but I have like this vague memory of like around the time that maybe like one of the final installments of the movie came out. Like there's like all of these like memes or like pictures coming out about how Robert Pattinson's abs were spray painted like spray tanned on or whatever. Like they didn't look right because it looked like fake tan was like used to make the lines.
That's so intriguing. I find it really. I think the concept of contouring and making abs like drawing on abs is so interesting
And it's
because
like
like
used to like it's like used, I guess, but also like people will say like, "Oh, those guys' abs are just like drawn on or whatever." I don't know why, it's
yeah,
a thing, but
that's wild, man. Yeah, I was because I never got into like the whole Twilight thing. I watched the first movie because my cousin was obsessed with it. But I never went moved on. I will say there was one song on the piano that Robert Pattinson played that is forever stuck in my head, and that's that. But yes, back to Twitches. Solid movie. I think it's to me like it's a mixture of, as you said, Hamlet, but Harry Potter too. Also, it was weird, or like not weird but different, that Disney said that their birthday was like their 21st birthday
mm.
instead of like 16 or 18
Yeah,
or
they didn't push them to be high school students. They made them
yeah.
adults, and were they in college?
I think so, or what they were working and
Yeah,
stuff.
like they were out of school or like traditional public school, I guess. And like that's when they found out, and they were more adult when they found out about their powers, which was we didn't really recognize it when we were young. It didn't make like a difference because you were just if someone was older, it didn't matter how much older. But now I think looking at it and seeing being that age now, it's like kind of cool to see that Disney implemented like college students, not just high school students, because now everything is high school related.
Everything is high school, literally. Like, and so yeah, I just think it's cool that like at one point it was different and they increased the ages because now because like before they had like 20-year-olds playing high school students. Now they're having like people that are actually the proper age play high school students, but again it's still centered around high school, so it's
Yeah,
interesting to see
but I
they
mean
did it
that's what I
different.
mentioned. I think I mentioned it when we were originally like planning for this episode. Was like they might have just used 21 because it wasn't going to be convincing enough to make them high school students because they were much older at the time. Like they were in their late
Yeah.
20s when they made that movie. And honestly, like I think it was like kind of like their comeback movie after like not doing stuff through Disney for a couple years because they got really
Yeah,
big with um
that
dang I
sister
forgot
sister.
Sister, yeah, and that ran in the 90s when they were actually like high school students.
Yeah, also I don't know, like okay, so Disney, or not Disney, Netflix started like adding a lot of the Tia and Tamara like Maori shows, and so I watched this one called Game Time. I don't know which of the sisters had was on there, but that was the first time I had seen them like not together,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was interesting
I
because
mean,
like
one of them, I don't know which one is on The View.
yes, not the oh yeah, one of them's on the View. There's a one of them is also on that new Netflix um thing called gosh darn it. I will come up with this name. Give me one moment because
Yeah,
Google.
it's actually kind of wild to me. Like I didn't recognize like the age gap when I first watched. Obviously, I didn't because now I actually like look into like the actors on like Google. But like when I was like 7, I didn't. But this movie has like a sequel, right? Like the first one came out in 2005, but the sequel came out in 2007.
Mm.
And like I was looking into like the Maori twins, and like one of them got married in 2008.
Holy hell.
And so they had like this whole movie came out where I visualized them as like just kind of like teenage, like older, like young adults, basically. Like
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, I don't think I ever visualized what it meant to be outside of high school. So they were just like kind of in high school, kind of not limbo for me.
Yeah.
But the fact that like they didn't seem as old as they actually were, and like as adult as they were in in the movies. So like to read that they, or like to see that one of them actually got married like the next year, I was like, so you were probably engaged during this movie.
Yeah. Okay, it's Tia Mowry. Tia was in The Game, and then she's also in Netflix's Family Reunion. And I think Tamara is on The View.
Mm.
But yeah, it's
I mean,
wild
I
to see
haven't watched
them.
anything from their new stuff. I didn't. I mean, I think the only thing I watched of them was these movies. Like, Sister Sister came out before we were even born, and like I wouldn't
Yeah.
have thought to even look into that show. And then I found out later that that's what they were popular for when
Mm,
Witches came out.
yeah. No, I think it's super interesting to look at kind of their like the timeline, but also how I think they were. I feel like they were super young when they got married because they're both married now, I believe, right? Maybe.
Yeah, but 2008 would have made her like 20 something.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking. Okay, so
You
I
saying
was.
that's young?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, hold up.
I thought that was like that's like average time. Isn't it like average time to get married when you're in your mid 20s, mid to late 20s? She got ma- she's 42
Oh,
now.
she got married when she was like 30?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were much
Oh,
older
never mind.
in
Okay,
those movies.
I got confused.
Bro, what?
No, because I was like, you said 20 something, so I was like, okay, that's pretty young. I think like when you say 20 something, I think like early 20s. I don't know why. I just do.
No, I meant like I meant the reason that they probably made him 21 in the movie was because they were like 28 when they filmed,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they couldn't make that 10-year age gap make sense like in
Yeah.
visual of like
No.
the actual movie. Yeah, that
Because by
so
then they would start to look like closer to their age. I feel like.
I mean,
Like,
either way, I just don't think it would have made sense because even like if you watch that movie knowing them from their TV show in the
oh
90s,
yeah.
they were high schoolers in the 90s. So like seeing them in 2005, you wouldn't see them as high schoolers anymore.
Hmm.
And I think it was like an accurate like 5-year jump after like maybe when their show ended.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
They
Um.
actually had a show. They had a show called Tia and Tamara in 2011.
Maybe that's where the song comes from.
Bro, their show Sister Sister ended like mid 99.
Holy crap. Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, but back to like flipping it back to the movie and like the plot. I can say confidently that I enjoyed this movie more than zombies, but a lot of that is attributed to the nostalgia factor. Just because it's like, wow, like something we grew up with.
I mean,
Oh.
yeah, like the effects were meh. Not saying that zombie had any
Ooh,
better effects, but like the effects specifically because it was
yeah.
2005 Disney was like meh.
They had a budget of 20 million. Sorry, continue.
For what? For
For the movie.
Twitches?
Yeah.
Okay, so like the thing is like does budget include like paying the actors?
I have no idea.
Because if it does, I'm sure like half of that went to paying them.
Do you think they got 10 million or like combined 10 million?
Yeah, if they're riding off of the popularity of their show Sister Sister,
Hmm.
like you
Yeah.
think that I think that they would do it for a large amount of money, but like I don't know how much like
To be honest,
well
I don't.
established actors get. I mean, like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much actors get because I always thought the actors don't make that much because like they have to give a cut to their agents and like.
bruh, not if you're okay. Yeah, obviously, like when you're starting out or like your first couple movies, but like not if you're big.
Yeah, okay, that makes
You think actors like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt are only making like a
well,
500K from a movie? No, they're getting paid tens of millions of dollars.
see, but I didn't know that Tia and Tamara made it to like Brad and Angelina or like
Well, no, that's what I'm not saying
that
that
status, right?
they made it to that status. I'm just saying that they probably got a couple million from doing
Yeah.
this movie.
I didn't know you could make that much.
there's a reason why people can push
Yes.
for that stardom. Like when you get there, you're making some. Oh yeah, I genuinely believe. Like I'm. That's why like people that did like Marvel movies and like they did
Oh,
so many
so
series,
much
they
money.
are multimillionaires to the max because they were making. Well, that's why the budget for those movies are extremely huge because they have to pay all of their main actors a huge lump.
Dang. I didn't know that.
I could be exaggerating how much. Like maybe it's not 10, maybe it's just one. But I do think they make millions. They don't make like 500K or like 100K.
Wow. Damn.
I mean, what
Learn
was it?
something new every day. I never
Dwayne
really.
the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
He did like 4 movies in one year, and he got so it made him like the highest paid actor of that year because he made like 20, 30 million or something like that. Uh, you know what?
He's just
Let's
cash.
see. Let's see how much
20,
The Rock
30
got
minutes.
paid. Rock's salary. I have searched
That
it.
is freaking crazy.
Dwayne Johnson,
Bloody hell.
Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, because he was in the Fast and Furious franchise. He's in Jumanji,
Well, he
like
was in the
franchise.
but yeah.
And then he also has like fame to his name because of his like pro wrestling career. Yeah, he's just man. And then he did
Oh,
like
he got a
Pixar work.
$23.5 million payday for the upcoming Netflix action comedy Red Notice.
Oh yeah, that's like supposed to be the biggest like budget and like large like movie because Chris Evans is in it, Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Yeah, and
Both of
that's
them cost a
all of that is
fortune.
attributed because if they're paying 20 million for Dwayne the Rock Johnson, maybe
They're
not that
paying
high, but they're paying somewhere close to that for people like Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and Chris Evans.
yeah,
So
Gal Gadot's in it too.
it says here that it's co-starring Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds.
Bloody hell. It has Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson produces it too. So like he gets more monies. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot,
He
Dwayne
got about he
Johnson.
got about under like a little under $90 million between one year, 2018 to 2019, because of all the
Oh
movies that he did
my
that year.
god, I cannot. Also, Ritu Arya, who is in I think the Umbrella Academy this season, is set to be in it. So hey, okay, sorry. I did not know that actor. I guess I never really thought about it.
Nope. I definitely know. Like I didn't know exact amounts, but I know that they're making bank. There's a
Like,
like everybody. That's why they can afford everything that they can.
yeah. I mean, I guess it was just assumed, but I never really thought about like specific numbers. I was like, oh yeah, they're just rich. But I never realized that the breakdown came from the budget itself of the I'm
Well,
dumb.
I'm not sure about that. That's why I asked. But like I assume that budget means like payment. That's why like
I just assumed like that was production value, like production budget.
I mean it's possible. I'm like thinking like recently I saw like a YouTube video of one of my favorite YouTubers is Dylan is in trouble,
Bravo. Yeah, in trouble.
and he did like a video watching Paranormal Activity, and
Mm.
that's the only way that I can watch the movie is watching someone else watch it. That's like cut up. Anyways, that movie was done with a like 5 to 15,000 budget, like super low.
Uh-huh.
It was done like 5 to 10,000, and like because they pitched it as like this is a real life story, like someone really recorded this, like some amateur really recorded this,
Mm-hmm.
and is letting us like produce and like publish it. It made like 20 million or more. It like hit box office numbers. Like it made
Are you
I almost
serious?
I would like almost say that it made 100 million because it just did so well, like insane in numbers. And because they did it with such a low budget, they essentially like made so much profit off the movie.
That's crazy.
The first one came out in 2007, and they made it with a budget of 15,000, and they made uh under $195 million.
Holy.
And yeah, they made so much money off that. And essentially, it was like the biggest like prank because um the whole pitch of it was that it was fake. Oh, sorry, it was real. Like it really happened. This is a real story, and people believed it, which is why it did so well in the box office.
So it's fake though, right? It's fake.
But then the guy released later that it's fake, and that it
Oh,
was
thank
actually the director Oren Pelly that was also filming it, and like that's why. But like it was filmed by somebody, and these guys were actors in it, and they were making it look kind of real. But like the way they filmed it, it legitimately looked like the actors were just like doing a home video.
Oh, wow.
hmm It did really well for like not known, and then from
This
there like
budget, yeah.
he made like 5 or 6 more movies.
Yeah, because I've heard like they've continued the whole franchise, like Paranormal Activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the pull though? Because if the director announced that it's like fake, why are people still going?
I mean, not after the first one. He probably didn't announce it. Well, like he had to probably say it because like if you make multiple, it just doesn't make sense how you're getting people to record their paranormal activities. I don't know, people just like being like it's the adrenaline rush of being scared and like being anxious and
Freaking
like
crazy
and the
people that
relief of
want
when it's
heart
like done.
attacks.
I mean, it's like honestly like I kind of get it. Like if you're with friends and you're watching it, like it's a really fun experience to just like scream with people and then like laugh off like how stupid you screamed over nothing.
I think
It's
the
like literally
day.
just to like be scared and then laugh with you within yourself or with others that you got scared over like a jump scare.
Yeah, I don't know, cause like also we've like seen horror movies together, and it's not the same experience for me. I just hide the whole time.
I mean, that was
Hide.
me. That was definitely me in the start, but like I've kind of like pushed myself to like watch more and I still hide, but like I'm realizing that it's okay to like get scared during horror movies. Like people aren't watching it to be still and like serious.
Yeah, I don't know, cause I just yeah. So
But
like
like it
I
gives you
just
the
don't
most
like
emotion in the
yeah.
same amount of time and like it just I don't know, like stepping away like you can laugh about it and like that's like why people go on roller coasters. Like why do people go on roller coasters?
I
Because the
see. I
adrenaline
don't
rush.
ride roller coasters. There is a reason for any. It's all connected.
Oh, I love roller coasters. Like it's kind of
Oh my
nerve-wracking in the beginning,
gosh.
but then you get on it,
Mm-mm.
you finish it up, and then you're like, "Oh my god, I did it." And I didn't die obviously
No,
cuz you're fastened.
I don't belong that far off of the ground.
Then don't be in planes.
Hey, planes are safer. I don't know
How?
actually.
How? There's literally no accidents that come out of
Planes
roller
are
coasters.
enclosed. In a roller coaster, I can feel everything, and I have that stupid feeling that you get. Well, okay, so
That
some
you're
people
supposed to get. You're supposed to
no,
get that. Like
some
their stomach
people
jumping.
live for the whole stomach dropping
Yeah.
thing. That just that I hate it. I hate that feeling so much, so I avoid it at all costs.
You know, I mean like I get it. It feels weird and like that's probably like the most like nerve-wracking is when that
Hmm.
happens when you get that stomach thing,
Hmm.
but like it's fun.
Yeah, no. I went to not Disney World. Yeah, Disney World and like Universal with like my high school orchestra.
Oh, bro, I got so scared on the Harry Potter ride, and I think I got scared for no reason. But like, I literally like closed my eyes the first time I went through that ride,
It
and then
was
we got out, and then I felt so like bad about it that I closed my eyes throughout the whole thing,
mm,
and I was like, oh, I didn't see anything. Like, there's a whole story plot to it, and I was such a wuss about the whole thing that I didn't see any of it. So then we went back at the end of the day, and then I like tried to stay more
aww.
like eyes open for it, and it was a lot more fun because I could see the plot of the story. I still got really freaked out by the spider portion, but like I was good about everything else. And I was like, thank God I like kept my eyes open. I probably
Yeah,
do a lot better now. It was like definitely like 5 years ago, I wasn't as good about rides.
no, I think for me, what I've realized is that I just can't see the ground. Like I cannot enjoy a ride like a roller coaster if I can see the ground and see how far off I am. But like if I'm in one of those simulation rides, which they have a lot of at like Universal,
Where
I
like you
can
basically aren't really off the ground.
yeah. It's like it yeah, where it's like I can't see how far we're off and it's like a simulation like a story, then I'm good. I'm chilling. I don't know. I can't seeing it just
Are you
makes it
afraid of
real.
heights?
Yes.
Then it's that. That's what gets you afraid of roller
Yeah.
coasters.
Well, I also hate the stomach feeling, but like I notice it less when I'm focused on like a story instead of just like, oh my god, I'm a
Like,
100 feet off the ground. I
I
can't
can get
do
like
this.
super nervous on heights, but like I can do it, right? Like the sky
Mm.
deck on Sears Tower, like I can step on that and like be fine. I'm not screaming as I look down. So,
See,
but
I'm like chill. Like I could handle it. Like I stepped out on the platform and I was chilling. But um if it did that thingy that they do now where it's like a tilty thingy, I would probably scream.
that's a different building, but yes.
Yeah. See, I'm super educated on Chicago. Um
That one they added that to the Hancock building and they
hmm,
made a tilt, which basically makes you go forward like 45 degrees or something like
yeah.
that. It's not much
I would
actually.
I don't
I
know.
can feel how
Depending on
much it is.
how sudden it was, I would scream.
Oh, it's not sudden at all. It's like gradually they're going forward. And like my mom was like really like feeling it. Like she
Mm.
was like, ooh. And then I was like kind of chilling and I was laughing at her reaction. And then we got back and I was like, oh, it didn't go as far as I thought it would. And then my mom was like, really? Like, I felt it.
I
And
thought
I
it
was like,
went. I felt it.
it's so funny because like, right, like I went on the roller coaster stuff and I was like with friends and I was fine. And like, I came back and like my mom was like, okay, like one time we'll go together. And like my mom is like really wants to go on these rides. And now that I'm more willing to do it, I think she's getting more excited to do that kind of stuff. But then my
No.
dad and my cousin are super like, no. And I'm like, what kind of like role reversal, gender role switch is this? Like, how are you gonna say no to going on a ride? He's like, I can't. My dad was like, I cannot do that. So like, please no. I was like, all right,
I
don't
mean,
have to do it. Don't have to do it. But
I
like, still.
agree with your dad. I can't. I can't do it. I cannot. If I have a choice between like chilling on a beach and going to a like a or no, like going to an arcade or going on to like roller coasters, I would choose the arcade every time.
I mean, same though. Like, I still like arcades more than I don't know. I don't know. That's like a hard thing. I want to go to both.
I don't know, man. What if they're across town and it takes like 2 hours? Oh
I'll go
man, I'm just
roller
putting out
coaster
these
more amusement park.
hypothetical situations.
Yeah,
Hmm?
like it's whatever. But I am having a growing appreciation for like roller coasters and like scary movies. But like, I don't, I'm not going out of my way to watch a horror movie. I will not do that. I'm not gonna watch any of the classic ones that I haven't
No,
watched because
no.
I was too scared. No, I'm just if I have to, I will.
Yeah.
And also,
Oh
the joke
man.
is like some of the ones that we've watched are not even horror movies. They're like thrillers.
Yeah, but I consider them like horror movies. They make me scared. I
I
they
think
make
I
me horrified in
I
some
think I
ways.
feel better when it's like a stupid jump scare horror movie where you know that when the music comes on that something's gonna happen versus like a suspense thriller where you're held in suspense throughout the movie, figuring out will they die, won't they die, kind of thing. I don't know. If I go in like a
I
stupid horror movie, I'll be like, you all are gonna die because you all stupid. You're all stupid.
see, I just assume that at the end everyone dies. That
Oh no,
way
I
if
feel like
people
nobody dies,
survive,
and
then it's like happy, you know?
no, I really feel like nobody dies. But yeah, like obviously I don't get attached to them.
I well, sometimes I get attached, which is ultimately my downfall.
No, you gotta just
Because
be like,
usually
y'all
the
are
ones I
stupid.
like die.
No, you gotta be like, y'all are all stupid. So none of you deserve to live in this movie.
You
You heard
make
a
some
creep
solid
come out,
points.
and you heard people talk about the house being haunted, but you're still living there. Bop out. That's on you then.
One very good way of getting through the horror movies. I love how we started on like Twitches and throwback Disney films, and we moved on to like horror movies and like why we can't watch them.
Yeah, that pretty
But
much shows that like we've ran out of things to talk about Twitches because there's really not much more to say other than they're twins
yeah,
and they're witches, and it's a good Halloween original movie if you don't like being actually when I first watched this movie I was so scared. I like
because
got
we
so
were
scared of
young
the
though.
darkness.
Because
Yeah,
like
I got so
darkness was
scared.
creepy, bro.
I think I cried when like the darkness came and was about to take the babies and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh no, 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 no." And I was like, "No, not the
Be
babies."
sneaky. Darkness be sneaking up on all sorts of people.
Yeah, like when I was like 5 to 7 years old seeing that CGI, though it's really bad, looming darkness, I was so scared.
Yes, the graphics, like all of the effects, will definitely bring you back to your childhood. Oh my goodness. Like, even like the. Oh, we forgot to do a spoiler alert. Well, anyways, my summer was kind of a whole spoiler thing. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not even gonna mention it now. It's like the end of what we're talking about.
yeah. Anyways, point being, yeah, Twitches was like an all around good film. There wasn't much to like critique about just because I think it's such a classic at this point that, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about it. Because, like, it's part of the experience of growing
Yeah,
up in the
why dog down
2000s.
a classic movie?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so stay
That's
tuned.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for next episode where we actually get into the horror movies that we were high key, low key forced to watch with our friends and our thoughts on those because I think that would be it'll be really fun.
I think you
Um,
got an idea of how we think about it now, but like
we'll get
specific plots, yeah.
yeah, exactly. All right. Talk to you next time. Probably
Yep.
next week.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.